The Genetic Research Institute of Keeler Prime was the most advanced biological laboratory in the known galaxy. For 300 years, xenobiologists had studied the DNA of every known species, cataloging genetic structures, tracing evolutionary paths, understanding the fundamental building blocks of life across the cosmos. Dr. HFY held the holographic display before him, his three eyes narrowing in confusion. The analysis before him should have been straightforward. They had captured a human specimen during a routine survey mission, and standard protocol dictated a complete genetic workup. What he was seeing made no sense. "Run the analysis again," he commanded his assistant, a younger helix named Calvin. "The numbers cannot be correct." Calvin input the commands again, watching the bioanalysis equipment work through the human's DNA sequence. After several minutes, the same results appeared on the display. "The reading is consistent, Doctor," Calvin reported nervously. 99.8% of the specimen's DNA cannot be classified. It doesn't match any known genetic database in our records. The remaining 0.2% is, well, the classification system labeled it terrifying. Dr. HFY stared at the display in disbelief. In 3 centuries, they had never encountered genetic material they couldn't identify. The universe had been thoroughly catalogued. Yet here was this small human creature, and most of its genetic code was entirely unknown. "Bring the specimen to observation chamber 7, Dr. HFY decided. "I want to question it directly." The human was a woman, middle-aged by human standards, with dark eyes that seemed to absorb every detail of her surroundings. Her name was Dr. Elena Vasquez, and she had been a xenobiologist on Earth before her capture. "Your DNA is largely unclassified," Dr. HFY explained, displaying the genetic chart. 99.8% unknown. Only 0.2% corresponds to anything in our databases. "I want to know, what are you?" Elena looked at the display and smiled, a small, knowing expression. "You rounded down," she said calmly. "Rounded down?" Dr. HFY's confusion was evident. "The analysis is precise to several decimal points." "No," Elena replied, her voice carrying the weight of understanding. "You rounded down because your instruments can't actually measure what they found. The 0.2% your machines can identify is the parts of our DNA that match your taxonomy. That 0.2% includes the genes we share with other species, the basic biological machinery that all life uses. Oxygen metabolism, protein synthesis, cellular reproduction. The boring stuff." She stepped closer to the hologram. "But that 99.8% you labeled unknown? That's us. That's what makes humanity what we are." Dr. HFY leaned forward. "Explain." Elena took a breath. "On Earth, we evolved on a world that was actively trying to kill us. We had predators that could run faster than us. We had prey that was harder to catch. We lived through ice ages and meteor impacts. We survived diseases that should have wiped us out. For millions of years, survival meant adaptation. Rapid, extreme, sometimes impossible adaptation." She gestured at the display. "Your species evolved in controlled environments. Stable climates, predictable food sources, manageable challenges. Your DNA reflects that, it's optimized for specific conditions. But human DNA? We're chaos engineered at the genetic level. We have genetic switches that activate in response to stress. We have dormant genes that wake up when needed. We have recombination patterns that other species would consider evolutionary errors." Elena pointed at the screen. "That 0.2% you can understand? That's what we share with the galaxy. That's standard biology. But that 99.8%? That's the part that lets us survive things that shouldn't be survivable. That's the part that makes us learn, adapt, and transform faster than any species in your database." Dr. HFY was silent, processing her words. The classification system, Elena continued, called that unknown portion terrifying because your computers don't have a category for it. It's not advanced or efficient or optimized. It's flexible. It's chaotic. It's designed to break every rule and write new ones. When humans encounter problems, we don't adapt our bodies to fit the environment. We adapt ourselves entirely. We change at the genetic level. She smiled again. You should be terrified. Not of what we are now, but of what we become when we're forced to survive. Every human in your laboratory right now is already adapting to your environment. Our immune systems are learning your pathogens, our metabolisms are adjusting to your gravity, our minds are mapping your facility. By the time you let us go, and you will, we'll have changed. We'll carry new genetic patterns, new adaptations, new possibilities. Dr. Gentiwayx looked at the 99.8% of human DNA that his instruments couldn't classify. He finally understood, it wasn't that his machines were inadequate. It was that humans were unpredictably, incomprehensibly, terrifyingly adaptive. What do you want? He asked quietly. To go home, Elena said. And to warn whoever comes next, humans aren't a species you study and classify. We're a species you either befriend or fear. Because we will always find a way to survive, to adapt, and to become something you never anticipated. 3 days later, Elena Vasquez was released. Within a month, the Keeler Prime Genetic Research Institute had completely restructured its protocols regarding human specimens. The message spread through the galaxy. The 0.2% of human DNA that could be classified was merely the introduction. The 99.8% was the promise, and the threat. Humans didn't just survive. Humans evolved in real time, adapting to every challenge, every environment, every enemy. And that, the galaxy finally understood, was what made them truly terrifying.